I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. Is it the wrath of Jason Crow?
Hey, who's ready for an indictment? They're handing him out like Pez now.
Oh, I know. At this point, when or if Democrats get control of the House, it will just be one massive impeachment operation after the next. Investigations, oversight.
There's something to say about, and I want to take a tangent there for a second. I've been thinking about that because I'm of the opinion that absolutely, if they get control, they're going to go after it hard. But I've been kind of bouncing around in my head, and I'd love to have your just, for 2 seconds, opinion on it, that it would be counterproductive for Democrats, if they get control of the House, to do any sort of an impeachment process or proceeding, because even if they get control of the Senate by a couple of votes, there's no way it's going to go through. And my question to you is, have they learned their lesson from the previous two impeachments that doesn't get you where you need to go, that maybe the better thing is exactly what you're talking about, investigation after investigation after investigation to just simply slow things down and gum up the works? So Jeff Hunt, my partner here on the Jeff and Bill Show in the morning, do you think if the Democrats get control of the House, they go for impeachment, or is it just slow things down with investigation after investigation?
All of the above, Mr.
Really?
Thorpe.
Okay.
They are salivating like a dog after a bone. They love nothing more than weaponizing the government against their political opponents. It is what they live for, because they're all a bunch of communists. And that's what communists do. They take the government and kick down your door and drag you out and bring you before show trials and all that stuff. They want it, and that is what you're going to get. And there's some good insight into how Jason Crow feels about this. We'll get to it next. Now it's time for the news.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Hey, good morning. It's Thursday, 42 and sunny in Denver, 40 in the Springs, expecting highs in the 60s today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story.
Well, I think one of two things. Either what he's saying is not accurate and he's made that up, or for the last 3 years, he's been sitting on his hands while kids are getting trafficked and, a pedophile ring in the Senate and the House and the governor's office. Why hasn't he done something?
What do you think, Blake? What do you think of what she's saying about Scott Bottom's allegations?
Well, first of all, you guys, I think you're breaking news. I think this is going to be a heated race now, if it already isn't. And I don't know. I don't know what to think, honestly, because he said he's working with the FBI. He can't say anything, evidently. And she is passionate about this. As you heard, I'm going to play the rest of it so you can hear how she finished, talking about Scott Bottoms, who you had on a couple of hours ago on the show, and then Barb Kirkmeyer last hour, both running for governor. And she wants to know if there are pedophiles in the current Colorado government right now, and they are lawmakers working in Colorado government. She wants to know why we don't know about it now if Scott Bottoms knows.
He may be a state representative, but he's also a pastor and he's a mandatory reporter. So he has a responsibility to report that and get that taken care of. They shouldn't get to continue on as state legislators. So he's either not doing his job as a mandatory reporter or as a pastor or as a state representative, or he just made that story up. So I'd like to know which it is.
What do you guys think? You kind of talked about it, but
this, for me, it's he better have the proof of the pudding, because otherwise this is going to look awful. And
I agree with that.
Yeah, and Barb, it does have a certain point about the fact that you're a mandatory reporter. And this is what I first bounced to. When she talked about mandatory reporters, I talked to people that are in my life, friends and family, that are teachers and involved in education. They're all mandatory reporters. They get the annual meeting and everything else, and there's an update halfway through the year. And I keep thinking about one of them having to tell a family member that we knew your child was possibly being abused 3 years ago, but we couldn't do anything about it because the investigation was going on. What would be the reaction of those family members? And that's why I have a lot of questions. That's why I say that Scott Bottoms better have proof of this, because the other side of it is really not looking good. And I have a hard time thinking that I would be able to sit in that meeting with any parent and say, we didn't do anything about this for 3 years because of complete the sentence.
On one hand, it would explain why they don't want to pass any laws that would require somebody convicted of sex trafficking to go to prison forever. So perhaps Representative Bottoms is exposing how terrible it is. But look, the state capitol is a den of evil corruption, and people have known about that for a long time. I mean, guys, we had a lawmaker, state senator, drive her car into the back of somebody else's car on the highway and kill herself. Like, how there is not, I think about this all the time. How is it that voters in Colorado are just like, meh? Like, they just go right on by somebody. Thank God she didn't kill anybody else. And then you get the media out there. Oh, she was so wonderful, and she helped us, and she was so accessible. Okay, all right. We don't have to denigrate her entirely. But how about a little accountability here? A little bit from this? And then you have another Democrat state senator that's going to prison for falsifying letters to try to get her out of an ethics investigation. Right. It is a den of evil corruption down there. So it wouldn't surprise me. But, Bill, to your point, you better have the receipts.
Yeah, you better.
I agree. And you had a caller from Lafayette. I think his baby was on his lap, but
Logan.
It was interesting because he was saying, I mean, here's a parent. He doesn't want that to be an issue, and I completely understand what he's saying. He doesn't want it to be, just if there's nothing there, don't want to take advantage of that just to get votes. At the same time, it wouldn't surprise me at all that this is going on. So there's a lot to be said, and I think it's going to get even more heated. Now, here's Bottoms, what he told you guys about his race.
It's going really well. We're very excited with everything. We are so far ahead of all the rest of the Republicans. We're not even in the same race. I even had a very liberal talk show host say to me the other day that according to Democrat numbers, I'm actually tracking in the same arena as Senator Bennett, and none of the Democrats are near me. So, yeah, we're pretty pumped.
So Bottoms says there's no such thing as being too conservative, and he's fighting for the people of Colorado, their safety, and the rule of law. Stay tuned.
Blake, do you have a favorite in this pick? Is there anybody that appeals to you? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like all three of them, actually, from what I can tell.
I do too.
I think time will tell, right? But I think the Tabor thing is... Billy has mentioned. I think that's important.
I have walked into assemblies and been surprised before. It was the last assembly when, oh gosh, her name just fell right out of my head. She was super popular all of a sudden, right before.
Yep.
And then she didn't get enough votes. She was from like the Eastern Plains of Colorado. And she, I can see her name. I can see her face. I can't think of the name right now. But then she didn't get enough votes at the assembly and goes down and picks a fight with KBB right there, and they're yelling at each other. And so if you like WWE wrestling, the state assembly is that on steroids. Literally, we will be down there covering it, and there will be drama, and you've got to get 10%. So even if Barb goes and gets the signatures, she still has to get 10% of that room. I worked for Mike Kopp when he ran in 2014 for the state assembly and took top line there. And there was drama and people angry and frustrated and, all that broke out. So you get the Republicans all in a room from across the state and you got to hash it out.
Yeah.
It's going to be fascinating.
Exactly. No, it is. Be very entertaining. hopefully we can clean it up also, because we know there's that garbage going on down there. It wouldn't surprise me. Authorities investigating a collision in the Caribbean between two Navy ships in an area patrolled by the U.S. Southern Command. According to Southcom spokesperson Stephen McLeod, the ships collided during a replenishment at sea and left two personnel with minor injuries. McLeod said the injured personnel are in stable condition and both ships have reported sailing safely. The cause of the collision is under investigation. Multiple reports say the FBI has recovered a pair of black gloves near Nancy Guthrie's house in southern Arizona and is testing them for DNA. NBC's Liz Kreutz.
The dates, January 11th between 9 p.m. and midnight, which is more than 3 weeks before Nancy disappeared, and the morning of January 31st between 9:30 and 11 a.m. Since the video from Nancy's Nest doorbell camera was released, an outpouring of tips have come in.
This comes as the search for the 84-year-old mother of Today host Savannah Guthrie reaches its 12th day. Border czar Tom Homan says that illegal immigration enforcement surge operation will begin to wind down in Minnesota. Homan said the operation in the state has yielded the results they came for. A GoFundMe page has been set up for the family of James Vanderbeek and has raised over $1 million. The page was set up by friends following the Dawson's Creek actor's death from cancer on Wednesday. He died at the age of 48. The page notes that Vanderbeek's wife and 6 children face an uncertain future, having spent almost everything on his medical care.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
never
you guys are of an older generation, but at my like prime teenage like angst years, like Dawson's Creek was like the right. You didn't have a million channels to watch. You had a handful of channels to watch, and this was the show that connected with what it was like to be a teenager in the 90s.
Yeah, here's the thing: is Blake, just for reference for us because we're older than Jeff is. This is sort of our version of 90210-esque.
Yes.
Yeah, and with a little bit of Saved by the Bell thrown into.
Yeah.
Kind of
Saved by the
Did James Vanderbeek become a Christian? Was he like, he had a lot of kids, and he talked about the importance of family. Like some of his final videos were all about the greatest thing he ever did was have kids.
Yeah,
honestly,
I think he did get serious about his faith. I don't know.
I know. I saw a couple of people I know on social media that I follow, not Vanderbeek, but other celebrities and things, and some of them had actually visited James in the final week and shared some really, really touching memories and conversations. It was really cool to see what he was focused on, and
He did reference Bible, but he never fully identified with any church, like Catholic.
Like we got to ask Jeff this big question here. This is a huge question. Okay, this is the big thing for Dawson's Creek fans. Okay, Jeff, got to tell everybody here listening on the air today.
Oh, boy.
Did you have a Katie Holmes poster in your room?
Oh no, but yeah, we all definitely knew Katie Holmes, and then the blonde girl too.
Oh yeah, that Michelle something or another.
Yeah, something like that. But
It's all
Kelly
coming back
Kapowski was there. And,
yeah, exactly. That's it.
The girl from Boy Meets World.
Yeah,
Topanga.
Topanga. Yeah, this is weird. I have a old mountain bike at home. It's Topanga. That's it. But it came up a little before the show, and so it wasn't in reference to. But it's a Diamondback. Okay, now the weird part. This is why I ask about the Katie Holmes posters, because my younger brother is a little closer in age to what Jeff is, and that was the big poster in his room. Big Katie Holmes poster. He was a huge Dawson's Creek fan, so I know Dawson's Creek.
Dude, we're going down such rabbit holes here.
Yeah,
do you remember when Tom Cruise and Katie got together and he did
Yes,
the whole
the couch jump?
and then I guess he ended up being just a total crud father that never visited with his kids.
Yeah, never. Now,
right?
just between the three of us and the audience, as soon as he did the couch jumping thing, I was like, oh, this isn't going to last. There's no way. There's no way. Yeah, that's just no.
Yeah, I do remember the promos on Dawson's Creek.
Yes, Dawson's Creek.
You remember
that's
the
in my
dad
head.
ended up being a total creeper?
Oh, that's right.
He got
about that.
arrested for pedophilia. Speaking of
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
That's right. I'd forgotten about that.
Surprising.
Yeah. That was a touch
The
point.
pastor
Yeah.
dad, he was a pastor in the show too.
Oh, what? Really?
Thank you. That was great.
Oh, yeah. That's wonderful. Yes.
Jeez. All right. All right. So some big news broken on the Jeff and Billy show this morning. It's 41 in the Springs, 42 in Denver. Nuggets beat the Grizzlies last night, by the way, 122-116. And Team USA on the ice for the first time in the Olympics today at 1 o'clock against Latvia. More of the Jeff and Bill show ahead on News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver and now on AM 1460. And FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs, all along the Front Range. This is the Jeff and Bill Show. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Satellite and radar shows a continual feed of moisture from the west coast coming into Colorado. This is going to be producing a lot of high and mid-level cloudiness. There are going to be more opportunities for occasional snow in Colorado's high country today, tonight, and tomorrow. For the Front Range, since we don't have any connection to Canadian air, temperatures are going to continue to be very mild. Daytime highs in Denver and Colorado Springs will easily be in the 50s today and tomorrow. And as we get into the weekend, 50s, even some lower 60s by Sunday and President's Day Monday as that flow of Pacific air continues. Do expect a lot of clouds with this pattern through Friday. There might be a few rain or snow showers along the Front Range and plains today, tonight, and tomorrow, but nothing of consequence. We'll have a little bit of a break in the clouds and the weather over the weekend before another system approaches Colorado late Monday and Tuesday. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver.
And on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range. This is the Jeff and Bill Show where you will hear both sides and you're invited to be a part of it. All right, Bill.
Yeah.
The retribution of Jason Crow.
Oh, yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
He is unleashed.
House Democrats threaten legal action after failed sedition probe over video urging troops to refuse illegal orders. You remember this video? Here it is. The Seditious 6 video.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day
to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
the Army,
or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
the American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution,
and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Well, those 6 Democrats who urged U.S. service members to, quote, refuse illegal orders, unquote, faced a legal battle with President Trump, and President Trump sought to bring charges against them, the grand jury deciding not to allow the charges to move forward. On Wednesday, 4 House Democrats, Jason Crow, Maggie Goodlander, Chrissy Houlihan, and Chris DeLuzio, hinted that they had prepared for a case of their own. Yesterday, the Trump Department of Justice tried and failed to indict us on criminal charges based on a video that we filmed last year, simply reminding our fellow officers to follow the law and the Constitution. Crow said they failed, and they will always fail. We're taking names, Crow said. We're creating lists. My lawyers just sent a letter today to the Department of Justice putting them on notice that there will be costs. The Seditious Six, as Secretary of War Pete Hegseth called the group of military veteran Democrats, had posted that video in November of 2025. In response, the Department of Justice launched a probe into the group, weighing whether their calls had amounted to sedition. After those charges fell flat on Tuesday, Democrats in the Senate, who had also participated in the video, similarly blasted the DOJ's probe. This is outrageous, said Mark Kelly, Democrat, Arizona. I want to be clear about something. This is not a good news story. This is a story about how Donald Trump and his cronies are trying to break our system in order to silence anyone who lawfully speaks out against them. Senator Slotkin of Michigan also appeared in the video, echoed Kelly's framing. The president has used our justice system to weaponize it against his perceived enemies. I think that we've come to a really sad moment in America where the paradigm of leadership has become completely reversed in 2026. Instead of looking to our elected leaders like the president as setting an example, it's now up to individual citizens in their private capacity to hold the values of democracy, free speech, liberty, and justice. When asked how he would distinguish between political prosecution and a good faith effort to uphold the law, Crow pointed to past statements from the administration but declined to offer a litmus test for future cases. I've learned to take Donald Trump's words and listen to him, Crow said. He actually came right out and said what he thought about this and said that this is because he wants to silence political opposition. So let's actually just listen to what the man says. Trump has accused the 6 lawmakers of being traitors who engaged in sedition at the highest level and should be in jail. He even suggested they should be executed over the video, although he later recanted that comment. Crow declined to answer questions about when he would press his legal strategy and hinted that it might depend on what Trump does next. So that's actually a ball that's in the Trump administration's court, Crow said. We've been very clear about our position and that it needs to stop. If it doesn't stop, then we'll take all the necessary actions. Bill Thorpe, give me your read on this.
This one is a little weird for me. I did not think they were going to be able to secure an indictment in the first place based on what they were alleging inside of the indictment, just from what I had heard casually. What I'm worried about is we have now moved to a point where lawfare against our political enemies is the status quo, that it's about getting revenge on other people that may or may not have wronged me. And it's based on the assumption, well, the other people are doing it to us, so we have to do it to them. And I think that's a huge problem because this just is going to make everything worse. Nothing's going to get better if we turn around and keep suing each other back and forth and saying we're going to investigate each other and indict each other based on what in many times are politically trumped up charges. And I see it from both sides. I don't know what Jason Crow, and I can't figure out, it may be a wrong alleged investigation indictment, but you don't get to turn around and sue for that. I mean, what's he going to do? I'd be hard pressed to find anything criminal that he would claim.
Me? Sue you?
Exactly. But then we have Donald Trump going and suing his own IRS and saying they did something to him. even though the statute of limitations has expired on that, but he's still doing it, calls late-night talk show hosts traitors, and then on the Seditious Six here, as you outlined, said maybe they should be executed. So it seems like we are just at the status quo of I am going to lawfare, indict, use whatever power I have to go after my political enemies. As much as we complained about it over the last 7 to 8 years, seems like we are now all in on this.
Well, Brad from Parker saying they deserve to be investigated. What Trump and Steve Miller have done, there needs to be a permanent correct back to the norms. Mary from Wyoming texting in, what did you expect out of a Washington, D.C. grand jury? Duh, said Mary.
I got a question about that, the idea of what did you expect out of the Washington grand jury, because that's part of the thing that I've seen is that there's some indictments that aren't sticking, that aren't holding in certain areas, and the why and why not. I find that rather interesting because we've all talked, we talked about, colloquially and stuff, we talked about slap suits. Not recently here on the program, but the idea of going out there and trying to file a lawsuit just to stop a behavior because of the threat of potential action, or just claiming it out there in the public, and a variety of different companies and people do this. I'm wondering if that's where we're going. The idea of when Mary's saying, well, of course the grand jury is not going to indict. Well, is this the point that we're getting to a place where it is just about filing the suit, not about anything else? It becomes performative. That it's just, I'm going to sue you for $10 billion. I'm going to countersue you for $150 million. I'm going to countersue you for a gazillion billion.
And was that part of the strategy of Trump sending a message to everybody else? Hey, we might not win this, particularly in this court, but I want to send a message. And Bill, there's court shopping that takes place on every issue out there. The ACLU does it all the time. They file lawsuits in particular court districts because they know they're going to get a more favorable ruling, and there's a whole strategy built around it. Part of the concern I have about rising lawfare is I think good people, particularly community leaders, business people, are going to look at politics and just go, why would I do this? Why would I sign up and have my family dragged through the mud and all these lawsuits and investigations, all that stuff? I think the dirtier it gets, more and more good people are just going to go, what's the point? Well, feel free to jump in. Would love to hear from you. Do you think what the Seditious Six did was actually seditious? And what do you make of Jason Crow saying, hold on to the documents? I'm coming for you now. A righteous retribution or just more lawfare from the left? The left complains about lawfare. There's only one side that's ended up with mugshots. I think the left is far more vicious using lawfare against their political opponents. All right, let's talk Dan Caplis with Dan Caplis Law. Dan suggests you should choose a lawyer who shares your values because who you choose to represent you in an injury case says a lot about you to everyone involved in the case. Dan Caplis, the son of a police officer and a former seminarian. Dan has dedicated the last 40 years of his life to helping people who've been hurt in serious motor vehicle crashes. Dan is believed to be the only lawyer in Colorado history to win 5 straight multi-million-dollar verdicts in Colorado crash cases. Dan is also believed to have won the largest truck crash verdict in Colorado state history. Dan Caplis Law is the official law firm partner of the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche. Dan Caplis Law is a serious firm for serious cases. Dan accepts righteous injury cases on a percentage fee basis so that he can represent good people from all walks of life without regard to ability to pay. So if you need Dan's help, give him a call. Here's the phone number, 303-770-5551. 303-770-5551, or hit dancaplisLaw.com. That's Dan, C-A-P-L-I-S Law.com. All right, we'll get to your text messages and phone calls. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show in Denver on 710 KNUS.
And proudly in Colorado Springs on The Answer, AM 1460 and FM 101.1. This is where you hear both sides. We are the Jeff and Bill Show.
News Talk 710, Kane, U.S. in Denver.
And AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show, where you're going to hear both sides of an issue. Today we're discussing the Seditious Six, the Democrat lawmakers that have been probed by Trump, facing investigations for the video that they put out. Don't give up the ship. Don't give up the ship. Well, the grand jury in Washington, D.C. refusing to indict them. So now Jason Crow going, sue me, sue you. Keep all the documents because I'm coming after you. Is it right for Jason Crow to respond with a lawsuit here? And is it just tit for tat using the legal system to go after your political opponents? And if you're going to run for office, well, one of the most important things you can have with you as a lawyer now to fight off and also take lawsuits to your opponents. Joan from Lakewood texted in, this is kind of what we have with the Republican Party, right? Britta and the rest of them. And she joins us as well now on the phone lines. Joan, Lakewood, good morning. Joan, you're on with Jeff and Bill.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. It's Thursday, and I've been listening on and off all week because it's been a wild, wild week.
Yes, it has been.
And I wanted to ask exactly how is a grand jury seated? Is that all appointments?
Got to remember, I mean, Brockler would be much better on this than we are. I'm not
this is
certain
what
it's
it says.
appointments. I think it's some sort of a pool.
AI, you ready for this?
Yeah,
Grand juries are selected through a random process similar to trial juries, drawing from citizens like voter registration or DMV records to ensure a representative cross-section of the community. There you go. Federal grand jury consists of 16 to 23 members, while state-level grand juries typically have 19 to 23 members.
And they sit for, 2 years?
It depends on the term. I know that there are different ones. I think it's normally 12 months, but some are different. I don't know universally what it is. But, yeah, there's a difference in
to
term.
Mary's point, what did you expect out of a grand jury in Washington, D.C.?
Well,
Good
that's
question.
the truth. And I think this is very reflective of how broken our judicial system is. I don't think that you get fair juries these days because, quite frankly, I know of people who don't vote so they won't have to do jury selection.
Just checking out the whole process.
That's crazy.
That's somebody else's process. I'll just
No,
sit here.
I know people that do that. And I know people who have excuses to get out of jury duty. They carry Bibles. They say definitive sentences like the police are always right.
Now, Joan, I want to ask you this because it's crossed my mind. Some nights, late at night, all by myself, I think to myself, maybe I would want to be the chairman of the Republican Party. And then I look at the lawfare even within the Republicans where this side's suing that side and they're all locked in and Britta Horn's got legal fees here and there. And I'm like, I'd rather just make fun of the Democrats on a microphone. I mean, do you think all this lawfare, even internally with the Republican Party, keeps good people away?
Oh, definitely. I can tell you that in the last 3 months, I've had some real moments where I've thought, do I want to stay a Republican? And then I have some really bright moments because I see people that are unaffiliated making affiliations. And I got to say, this past weekend, there were people that were changing their affiliation and getting messages from the SOS website that says, your registration is pending. And I'm sitting here going, I thought this was an automatic thing that could. So I don't know whether they overwhelmed their system or whether there's an interesting thing because if you're not registered by tomorrow as a Republican, you can't participate in caucus. And it's a delay tactic with the Democrats. I mean, it's just really very interesting to me how conniving everybody has gotten.
Yeah. How conniving. That is a good analysis. What do you think of Jason Crow's response? Do you think it's a righteous response to investigate Trump? And if he gets control in the House, Democrats get control, what do you think it's going to look like under 2 years of split government with Democrat control of the House of Representatives?
I get on my knees every day and pray that won't happen. I honestly think it will not happen, mostly because they're talking about, oh, the progressives here in Seattle are winning, and look what happened to the mayor in New York. And I think the mayor in New York is actually a really good mirror of what will happen if we do that kind of thing. I've never liked Jason Crow. I worked very hard in District 6 with the last time he was up. I even made a crow cake so that when he lost, that we could eat crow.
Now, Joan, do you have a favorite in the Republican primary? Are you openly endorsing or supporting anyone?
No,
Barb Kirkmeyer, Victor Marks?
I can't do that, Jeff. You know that I hold an office in HD 28. So
no public endorsements. What did you think of what Scott had to say about the pedophiles down at the state capitol? Do you think there's a ring of pedophiles at the state capitol?
You know, that's a very hard thing. I'm here in Lakewood. Lakewood changed their symbol for the city into these circular triangles, which is a symbol for pedophilia. And so people tell me all the time about this and that with pedophilia. And here's the thing you need to know. I am a retired healthcare professional, and I must report if I see anything. And I haven't seen anything. And I don't know if it's there or if it's just hidden so deep. And the part that I have trouble with is, you know, it comes out of the Epstein files that Bush was eating babies. I mean, seriously, I can't believe that. That's so horrific. You know, I can't believe that. And this pedophilia under the state capitol is so horrific. I really will have a hard time giving it voice.
Joan in Lakewood, appreciate the analysis. Joan's line will be open 303-696-1971 or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. From the city streets to mountain trails, your gear should go wherever life takes you. That's why at Modern Rugged Leather, every bag is handcrafted from premium, responsibly sourced leather. I love this leather. It really is the best bag I've ever had. It's designed to look sharp, last long, and tell a story of its own. Each stitch, buckle, and strap reflects timeless craftsmanship and is backed by a lifetime warranty because quality shouldn't quit when the adventure begins. So whether it's in the boardroom or the back roads, Modern Rugged Leather helps you carry confidence every step of the way. Modern Rugged Leather, modern style, timeless durability, backed for life. Life's going to take you places. Make sure your gear keeps up. Shop the full collection and find yours today at modernrugged.com. Again, that's modernrugged.com. Did Jason Crow escape prosecution? Or was this an attack on his free speech rights and he should sue back? What do you make of all of this? Join the conversation. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver.
And AM 1460 along with FM 101.1 The Answer in Colorado Springs. This is where you hear both sides. We are The Jeff and Bill Show.
News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver.
And AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range. This is the Jeff and Bill Show, where you get both sides. We're talking Jason Crow, the investigation against him because of his participation in the Seditious 6 video. No grand jury indictment coming. DOJ not able to get it. And Crow angry, frustrated, saying, I'm bringing retribution. You investigate me, I'm going to investigate you.
Still what you've been doing all morning. Sue me, I'll sue you. Love that line.
Let's go to the phone line. Scott in Littleton. Good morning, Scott. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Good morning, you wonderful gentlemen.
Uh-oh, he's not talking to us, Jeff. Somebody else on the phone line. What's on your mind?
First of all, it's interesting that Jason Crow has the suit coat boy, Kyle Clark, on speed dial.
Oh, I know.
Because he was on with him as early as about 3:15 yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
About this situation. And, of course, we know what slant Kyle gave this whole issue and the rest of the brilliant 9 newscast. But anyway, this goes way back before the Seditious 6 famous video. Something changed with Jason Crow some time ago, and I think it's when his wife dumped him. He has gone totally TDS, and I know a lot of Democrats are, but I read religiously his tweets and follow his tweets, and I'd say about 99% of them are nothing but going after Trump. Everything is Trump, Trump, Trump. And he has totally quit representing District 6. He is just going all out. I think he knows that's where his future's at and his money's at. And he needs to stay. At one time, I thought he might be moving on somewhere. Yep. But now that he's, not fighting, but now that he's divorced and he's got to probably stay in Colorado.
Well, and he's embraced just the hard left angle. He recognized that they're just going to applaud and stand up and fundraise for him. The harder he goes after Donald Trump. Phil Weiser has gone the same way. Jenna Griswold. There's almost no downside on that from that perspective. Just be all in against Trump. But to your credit, Scott, he is not representing the people of his district anymore. You don't see the constituent work. You don't see the concern about what's happening to real people in his district. Just political posturing all day, every day. And Kyle Clark picks up on it, is happy to have him on. It just becomes this big Trump bash fest.
Yeah.
Scott Littleton, I appreciate the call. Thanks
One of the
so
best
much.
points was when Danielle Jurinsky pointed out, hey, Scott, this apartment building is here in your district.
Oh, Jason? Yeah. Hey, Jason.
Jason. Janelle was like, hey, Jason, no, you never been here. It's right here in the district. But he was talking all sorts of smack during it as well. So, yeah.
Folks, my wife and I have been thrilled working with Guy Reese to improve the blinds in our house. They have a wonderful selection of Hunter Douglas custom blinds, shades, and shutters. They were out at the house yesterday as we're going through round 2 with them. We got part of our house, some brand new blinds with Guy Reese. We're now going on a second part. We have been thrilled every single day. I am grateful that we got our Hunter Douglas custom blinds from Guy Reese. I was a little overwhelmed at first because I've never worked with a design pro, but she walked us through everything and helped us find the perfect options to enhance the look and functionality of our home. What's the alternative? You're just going to sit online and try to find cheap blinds that might look okay in your house? You don't really know. What sets Guy Reese apart is that they come out to your house and they bring all the different samples for a true personalized in-home consultation. They come directly to you, so get the same expert advice right in your own home that we got in ours. Do yourself a favor. Get started today. Visit GuyReese.com to schedule your in-home consultation. That's GUIRYS.com. Go see the great people at Guy Reese, GUIRYS.com. You'll be sure to thank me. Okay, let's go to the phones. Jim in Denver. Good morning, Jim. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Good morning.
Jeff and Bill, I love your show. I think you do great work, and thank you for just helping people see both sides of issues. But I wanted to ask Jeff. Jeff, would you say that Donald Trump has weaponized the Justice Department?
I think he's brought retribution. So Trump feels like that it was weaponized against him. He wants to, in his mind, clean it out, but that might mean retribution back to you. You want to investigate me? I'll investigate you. That's what Jason Crow is saying. So I see both sides as taking advantage of it for going after their political opponents.
So I understand that you do agree that he has weaponized his Justice Department. Even though he criticized it all along when he was running for office, and all the Republicans said, we can't Biden's weaponized the Justice Department. We need to stop this.
I think the
Trump
position
said that too.
I think the position the Republicans were in was thinking that the DOJ is going to remain neutral and just follow the law and investigate the bad guys. When Democrats are going to use it against us, how do we get them to stop? What becomes the process by which you get Democrats to stop weaponizing the DOJ? That was the situation they faced. What do you think they should have done?
Well, I think you should bring up evidence, real evidence, whether it's texts or emails or phone calls, or bring people and put them under oath and find out if there have been any directives from the executive office to the Justice Department to go after people. Kind of like Donald Trump's social posts 2 days before Jim Comey's statute of limitations were going to expire, where he said, hey, we need to go after Jim Comey and do it fast. I mean, I don't see anything that Joe Biden did that has a record like that or evidence like that.
Now, Jim, the problem that I've got in this is
Trump with a mugshot proves that.
Yeah, but I think that I'm not certain that's the Biden administration that directed it to say we've got to go get this guy. The problem I've got, Jim, that I think that we're getting to is it is now self-evident, and I'm using that in air quotes, that the opponents of me is going to be using the Justice Department for lawfare and to go at me. And that's what I'm really, really worried about, Jim, is that we've come to a position in our society where we have to exact revenge on the other party when we're in power because they already do it to us. And we all know that because it's self-evident, regardless of whether or not there actually is proof. We are just going to assume and then attack. And this goes really badly from here, in my opinion.
It depends upon whether the charges are justified. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. I think that's important.
Yeah, and I think certainly the investigation of Donald Trump for January 6th was certainly justified. Given, everybody that you disagree with that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I think there's no evidence that he organized the violent riot that took place up at the Capitol.
Everyone, virtually everyone, I wouldn't say everyone, but that the FBI talked about that they arrested that day said they thought they were doing what Donald Trump wanted them to do.
Yeah, but there's no evidence of that. And Jim, that's where we get back and forth on this. You say my use of the DOJ is justified. Look at the crimes. And Republicans look at the DOJ and go, my use of it is justified. Look at the crimes. And that, to Bill's point, that's where we are. Jim, I appreciate the call. We're just up against the end of the show here. Let's talk advanced hair restoration. Guys, let's talk about your hair. If you're losing it and desire to have it back, then Advanced Hair Restoration has the easiest guaranteed solution. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results. I've seen it with my own eyes. Guys, it's not magic, but close to it. They put hair where you need it the most, and bam, it grows. It's actually science. Advanced Hair has it all. Top-rated Dr. Tanya Paul's modern technology, and best of all, you get your own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day. Advanced Hair even guarantees it will grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now, 720-459-HAIR. If you qualify, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Advanced Hair is the winner of Westward's Best of Denver and has changed the lives of tens of thousands of people. So don't wait. Check out the before and afters online for yourself, 720-459-HAIR. or advancedhair.com, 720-459-HAIR, advancedhair.com. Sorry, was that Larry that we just weren't able to get to here at the end of the
let Larry
show?
know that he can give us a call tomorrow. That's
Larry,
okay.
call us
Yeah.
tomorrow. The Jeff and Bill Show making news today with Scott Bottoms making wide-ranging accusations, saying that there's a pedophile cabal operating down at the state capitol that may even reach to the governor's office. And Barb Kirkmeyer responding to that. So if you missed any of that, go to 710knus.com to download the podcast. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show on 710 KNUS here in Denver.
And AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. All on the Front Range, this is where you're going to hear both sides talk. And if you're just joining us, we do it a little bit differently than everybody else in town. And thanks for joining us.